Hello and welcome to Cutting Through the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben, and this week I'm hanging out with Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
Today we're going to talk about the Silurian hypothesis. Have there been other civilizations before humanity?
Like, way before. Millions and millions
of
years before.
The Earth is 4.5 billion years old, allegedly.
Yeah.
You won't tell me that though, Gaz. You'll tell me it's 6,000 years old. In your Christian beliefs.
I'm not a creationist. I believe in the morals and the teachings of Jesus, of Nazareth, but I'm also aware of science. The two things don't have to be mutually exclusive.
I thought you might have gone full creationist.
You're
No.
more New Testament than Old Testament.
A bit, yeah, because there's actually more wonder in the actual science. Like, that's God, that's science. Like, the fact that life even, I learned the other day, the whale started off with legs. I thought everything started in the sea. They started on the land.
No, they started in the sea.
Oh, fuck, came out, grew some legs, fucked off back in, lost the legs.
That's it, yeah.
That's God. That's more wonder. That, to me, there's more wonder in that.
How's that God?
There's more amazement and wonder in that. How the fuck? Do you know what I mean? How's that God? I mean, I don't get the idea of God being a man. He's not a thing.
You're made in his image.
He's not a being. It's the life. It's actual life. Like,
so the universe is alive, and the universe
God.
is God.
That's God.
Okay, I can get on board that.
That's God, mate.
Oh God, you're being converted.
And it's fascinating. It's more fascinating than a man. This omnipotent being took 7 days. Oh, that's boring. Fucking whales. Grow legs, lose me legs. Back in the sea.
Yeah, it can be explained though. Darwin and evolution in it.
A lot of people think he may have been a little bit full of shit, Mike.
Right,
That's something I learnt the other day.
Who's thinking that?
I can't remember where I heard it, but apparently there are people that his theories aren't. It might not be as cut and dry as that, but we're getting away from
the topic.
The topic.
The Earth has been here for 4.5 billion years. We've been here as humanity, as a species, for like 250,000 tops. We're 0.02% of the time that the Earth has been here. Humans have been on it.
And our advanced civilization is less than a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
That's bollocks, isn't it? We've been around for 250,000 years, but I'm supposed to expect that only for the last 10,000 have we been making stuff and talking and being clever. And what are we doing for the other fucking... sitting there scratching our asses? What the fuck, do you know what I mean?
Well, we came from monkeys, didn't we, and apes. And
humans,
and they have social.
But as we are now, the fully formed Homo sapien has been around for 200,000 years, or was that
between 100,000 and 200,000, something like that.
Hunter-gatherers, weren't we? The fuck happened 12,000 years ago, where all of a sudden everyone went.
It was farming, wasn't it?
Do you know what? We built some big shit.
Farming changed everything. Because then we could stay in one place, grow communities, we can have resources and
before that, we're supposed to believe that we were just purely hunter-gatherers in our own little groups, travelling around, killing mammoths.
I think that's pretty established.
Hitting women with sticks. They're just guessing. It's bollocks. I don't know.
We found.
It just seems mental.
Skeletons, and we've
also found
the weapons and things and.
Temples that are older than that 12,000 years, though, haven't we? That don't fit the narrative.
There are some out of place artifacts, aren't there?
There are. There's buildings.
There's quite a bit, isn't there?
Yeah.
But the point of this is it's not just us. What if 2 million years ago a civilization rose?
It's even further than that, because they're basically saying that the age of the Earth is like 400, 500 million years.
4.5 billion.
Yeah.
Billion years, right?
But the surface of the Earth is only 400 million years old, because everything gets recycled.
Yes, 400 million years. And like, I was talking just before Mike started recording, I was just saying, like, when you imagine that ice age is coming and going, like the upheaval, like the entire surface of the Earth is being reformed and changed and moulded, you could lose a lot of shit in that. So feasibly, in those 400 million years, before we were around, there could have been... How the fuck would we know it was around? There wouldn't be any, unless you drilled, I don't know, right down into the core. But then what you looking for? Particles?
Well, we'll get into it. There are things we can look for.
Before we jump into it, let's just quickly thank some new and returning listeners. Glencoe in Canada, Smethwick in the UK, Smethwick, sorry.
Smethwick.
Is that how you say Smethwick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah.
Smethwick.
Near Birmingham, isn't
You know what, it's spelt differently on my computer screen at work, there's no W.
Well, it's spelt wrong then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah, clearly. We've got a satellite warehouse in Smethwick and there's no W on the delivery screen.
Strange.
Yeah. Unless the business is spelt wrong.
They're trying to save money, but
Yeah.
cutting down on letters.
Frankfurt am Main in Germany, San Jose in the US, Boardman in the US, Boulder in the US, Brussels in Belgium, Staten Island in America, Dublin in Ireland, London in the UK, London in the US, Ashburn and Washington both in the US. Washington, wow, smashing it.
Thank
Is
you
that
to everybody.
actual Washington?
I don't know. No, that's Washington. Does that count as Washington DC or?
Oh yeah.
Well, either way, if you're in Washington and you've been listening to us, thank you very much.
What does the DC stand for?
District of Columbia.
Oh, thank you.
They've got their own so many state, isn't it?
Every day's a school day. Here's something to ponder. In Britain, the Royal Mail brings your post. But in America, the Postal Service brings your mail.
Interesting. Man, I just blew my mind.
That picture's just reminded me of a UFO. I saw a shirt, Ben. I should have screenshotted it and sent you a Hawaiian shirt, right? At the top is a UFO here.
Yeah.
Down here is Bigfoot throwing up the devil.
Yeah.
horns,
Oh, my
walking
God.
Through the woods.
I need to own it. I need that in my life.
I did think of you as soon as I saw it.
The problem is you never wear a Hawaiian shirt open, do you? That's closed.
Yeah.
You always have a Hawaiian shirt open with a white t-shirt
Yeah.
and a cigar.
I'd love a Hawaiian shirt. I used to have one.
Yeah, we used to have crap shirt nights. You'd find the worst shirt we could find and then we'd all wear them out.
Yeah.
TK Maxx there's a shop in the UK called TK Maxx. My God.
I think they have that in the States, actually, TK Maxx.
No, well, that's your prime mover for crap shirts.
Yeah. The Silurian.
Right, the Silurian hypothesis. It asks whether it might be possible to find evidence of a pre-human industrial civilization in Earth's geologic record, even one that might have existed millions of years ago.
We should say really that the name Silurian comes from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Didn't they take it from the theory?
No, it's from Doctor Who.
Oh, was it?
It's a
I
Doctor
thought it was
Who
the other way
episode.
around. I listened to a YouTube video on my way up and they were mentioning it in popular culture. And
Yeah, I think
just
that's
assumed.
what I'm pretty sure, isn't it, man?
Yeah, it is,
They
yes.
took it from a Doctor Who episode. There was a race of underground reptilians
Yeah.
called the Silurians.
I also, on the pod I listened to, oh God, who's the famous sci-fi, like the old Asimov?
Yeah.
He wrote a story about a guy who travelled back in time. There was a race of like humanoid dinosaurs who had guns and they were hunting and killing the actual dinosaurs.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's out there. It's a cool thought, man.
Yeah.
Like imagine if it was like as advanced as we are now, but they were just reptilian humanoids.
Yeah, I mean...
Or monkey humanoid. It could have been anything.
Well, that's it. Evolution could have gone that way, couldn't it? If the dinosaurs hadn't have died out.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
this is even before that, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like
The dinosaurs didn't get their shot at evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also heard a good theory today that dinosaurs were they were vehicles, like biological vehicles being driven and used by little tiny aliens for
Interesting.
war.
Where'd you hear that?
A pod.
Well, you know what? Why the fuck not?
It's a new one on me.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Wasn't there a kids' cartoon like that? Dino Riders.
Oh, they weren't in them.
No, they weren't in them there, but they mounted laser cannons to T-Rexes.
Fuck it, awesome.
Yeah.
The astrobiologists who developed this thought experiment concluded that there is not strong evidence in Earth's geologic record to support such a claim. However, we still lack the scientific methods that would allow us to dive deep into Earth's behaviours.
But this is a bit like, what's that paradox about aliens?
Fermi paradox.
That like basically, it's statistically ridiculous to think there isn't aliens, but there's absolutely zero evidence of it. And
Apart from all them UAPs, guys.
well, yeah, apart from but that's the paradox,
Yeah.
isn't it? This could be similar to that, like. 400 million years is a fucking long time for there not to be anything here.
There was stuff here,
But
but it
there's
wasn't
no-
advanced.
Well, what is it like?
Been,
Fucking amoebas and like.
well, 400 million years ago, there would have been sea creatures and
Oh, okay.
You
My
know.
timeline is so shit. So how long ago?
Dinosaurs?
How long ago is dinosaurs?
dinosaurs
65 million years
65
ago.
million.
and they started 250 million years ago.
Okay. So there was like,
So everything.
Six
So you
or
got
seven.
so you got dinosaurs 250 million years ago. They started. Okay, and before that you had sea creatures. We see the fossils, don't we, in the rocks?
like little things.
Trilobites. and things.
Yeah, I love that word.
And even like before the dinosaurs, there was like giant sharks, megalodon, and all that.
Oh
wasn't there?
God! What if they were like insect humanoid people?
Could have been.
Yep.
Oh, insects.
At one point, Gaz, because the oxygen levels were so high, there was giant insects.
Oh, don't.
Have you ever seen what's that film with Will Ferrell? He rides a T-Rex.
Oh, Land Before
Yeah.
Time, is it?
Land of the Journey to the Centre of the Earth.
No, that's the
Land
old
of
Doug
the-
McClure one.
Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost.
Yeah.
And he gets bitten by that giant mosquito that starts sucking his
Yeah.
Yeah, he starts going blue.
singing that song and he's like,
Oh,
oh, I'm feeling a bit woozy.
Is it one of them? It's always stuck with me as a kid. It
Giant
terrified me.
spiders.
Is it in one of the Jason and the Argonauts films? There's a giant wasp, like the
Yeah.
size
Yeah.
of a fucking
Sinbad
Jack
is.
Russell. But then it blows my mind though that see my timeline's crap. But then in the Ice Age we had like giant fucking sloths.
Yeah,
and-
but that was only 20,000 years ago, wasn't it?
But it's still mad to think that we were sustaining. Everything
Yeah.
was giant,
Yeah.
literally giants, giant tigers, giant fucking
Yeah.
hamsters.
Giant snakes.
Gigantopithecus, the giant ape.
Titanoboa, Gaz, the giant snake, its head would probably just fit through that door.
God,
I wouldn't have to try and stove that
Mental,
skull in.
Jeez.
so mental.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
We haven't got a fucking clue what could have been.
So yeah, so everything sort of 400 million years ago, unless it's fossilised,
There's no evidence.
there's no evidence.
I heard an interesting stat. There's been about 1.7 trillion humans on the planet overall through our little period.
There has been.
Do you know how many fossils we found of humans?
How many?
7.
Seven.
And that's not complete fossils. That's like 7 bones. Literally, fossilization is incredibly rare. It's got to be exactly the right circumstances,
conditions, yeah.
exactly the right conditions. They reckon there was 1.5 billion T-Rexes who lived over the course of the time. They've only found like fucking 20 odd bits of bone. Well, sorry, there's like 20 complete skeletons in the world, and only one of them was found complete.
Yeah.
You know, fossilization is
Yeah.
very, very rare.
So there's creatures that may have been roaming about during dinosaur times that we have no idea.
Yeah.
about.
Exactly.
We have
But
no
there's
idea.
loads of shit. There's no way that we're going to know everything just
No.
because we're basing
I
it
think
all on
it's
what
like-
we find in the
Yeah.
floor.
I think there's like 1 or maybe 3% of all fossilised life that we found. There's like 97 to 99% that we haven't.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely mental.
Because it's beyond, like, it's just based on the limits of your imagination. It could have been fucking, and it could have been
Yeah.
exactly as we are now. We made it,
Yeah.
like,
Some more humanoids.
it could have happened exactly
We had a
the same
nuclear
thing.
war, wiped everything
Yeah.
off the planet apart from
Or an
bacteria and small.
asteroid that causes, like, fucking thousands of years of darkness and fucking climate change, but I mean on, like, not a gradual,
No, like an
like-
instant
like an actual fucking
7 years of
Yeah,
darkness.
it's a different planet now. Fuck, we don't know, do we?
Well, it was the time when the Earth was covered in ice.
No, that's what we were
Yeah.
talking about earlier. But then to imagine, that's what that Randall Carson was trying to get it. And he's very good at describing, but it's still hard to imagine that ice that's so many miles thick. When it started to melt, it wasn't a gentle like,
Trickle.
yeah, like
Raging torrents.
yeah, rated huge, giant, like beyond your comprehension. Pieces of ice the size of countries moving around, gouging the fucking valleys and.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
yeah.
you drive around Wales and you look at all those mountains, like something made this
Yep.
thing, shit moving around, fucking carved all
Yeah.
this out. It's fucking mind-boggling. So like, fucking anything that was there, you know, if it then gets frozen and then unfrozen, like, well, what you gonna fucking find?
This is it. But you're not going to find anything because the ground's been too churned up, and
Yeah.
any potential fossils of an earlier civilization have been destroyed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, complex life on our planet has existed for at least 400 million years. Yet as a species, We only managed to create an industrial civilization around 300 years ago.
Or did we?
But what if an earlier industrial civilization existed on Earth millions of years ago? If that was so, how would we be able to prove it or disprove it? And that is the crux of the Silurian hypothesis.
Well, you can't disprove it, can you? You can say there's no evidence, we haven't found anything, but you haven't dug up every square inch of the Earth, have you?
That's it. The possibility of life elsewhere in the universe and its parallels with the Anthropocene, the current geological epoch during which humans have impacted Earth to the point of no return, has long puzzled Adam Frank, PhD, a professor of astrophysics at the University of Rochester, New York, and one of the two authors of the study. And to quote him, he says, "Is it common for any civilization that reaches our level of energy use to trigger their own version of climate change?" I was wondering if there are any alien civilizations, would they also trigger climate change? Frank ponders. With this whirlwind of thoughts in the mind, Frank visited the NASA Goddard Institute of Space Sciences, or I'm going to say that's GISS, an elite
Terrible cover.
climate science facility. GISS. Coming to you live from the University of Columbia, New York. I've seen Kiss.
Actual Kiss?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the backing tracks and the miming?
They weren't very good, if I'm brutally honest, and I did not realise how high-pitched the lead singer's voice is when he's not singing.
Standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, thank you, Darlington.
We're gonna rock and roll all night.
Thank you, Darlington. We love you. And you're like, is this Mickey Mouse?
He's such a creepy fucking dude, man.
And Gene Simmons is basically, I tell you, when he dies, he's going to be like another Savile.
Oh, mate, there's going to be so much coming out.
There's so much about Gene Simmons and Kiss.
He's a creepy weirdo.
That's
I've
probably.
really got Kiss.
They've got a couple of good tracks.
Yeah.
Detroit Rock City is great. I quite like. That's it. Quite like when they went through their ill-fated disco phase.
Like disco rock.
Disco rock.
But that shows what commercial whores they are, though.
Mate, you can
Gene's
buy.
like, what's popular? Disco. Fucking write me a disco track.
You can buy anything with the words "Kiss" stamped on it. I mean,
Coffins, condoms.
you can get a coffin.
Yeah.
They made fucking films, didn't they?
Kiss Saves Christmas.
I watched that on YouTube. It's so bad.
I've seen a bit of it.
Well, perhaps this race that existed 400 million years ago, they might have all had, like, natural Kiss makeup faces.
Do you think the Kiss channeled a previous civilization psychically and got their inspiration?
Yeah.
I always feel sorry for the cat guy. Because everyone else did some really, everyone else did some like fairly decent artwork on their face. He's like, "I'm a cat." Oh dear. Well, Frank went to a meeting with Gavin A. Schmidt, a climatologist and the director of NASA GISS, with a PhD in applied mathematics. Seriously, fucking clever people, really, aren't they? Yeah. And he started talking about aliens. And then Gavin stopped me and said, "Wait a second, how do you know we're the only time there's been a civilization on our own planet?" The question was an aha moment for Frank, mostly because it allowed him to consider revisiting facts he had taken for granted. So Homo sapiens, like you say...
Sorry, that's such a cool diagram.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
That's awesome. It's possible to explain to you, really, listener, but how would they find this article? What's it on? Popular Mechanics.
Yep.
Yeah. So Homo sapiens first came onto Earth 300,000 years ago, and in the unlikely case that an old industrial civilization had existed, it would predate the species to which we all belong. And it was then that Schmidt called the idea the Silurian hypothesis, paying homage to sophisticated reptilian humanoids awoken by nuclear testing after 400 million years of hibernation in a 1970s episode of Doctor Who.
I want to watch that episode. That's a cool story. Like.
Yeah.
That's the thing, I've never been a Doctor Who fan.
Was when I was a kid.
But there's some really cool... From what I've seen of some of them,
it's
like
really
this is a
hardcore
really good
sci-fi.
storyline.
Some of it's hard, but I tried to get into it, but you watch it, you're like, oh, will you just punch someone?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's the issue I have is...
Talking your way out of everything. Let's be fresh. Spin kick a motherfucker, will you?
Roadhouse.
Yeah. Oh, got me sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, it's like, can't you just... Why haven't you got a laser gun?
Fucking drop the Swede on someone.
Well, Their species literally had a fucking interstellar war with the Daleks. Yeah.
Not
don't
one
think it's
punch
I
thrown.
expect a fucking laser gun of some kind.
We needed Dolph Lundgren to play for
Doctor Who.
Oh God, because what we've currently
Alright.
got is a very effeminate Doctor Who who's like crying his way through every episode.
I've heard some terrible reviews of that new
Well,
one.
every week a new episode comes out, the hashtag RIP Doctor Who is trending.
I've heard it's bad, but
It's very
I
propaganda.
couldn't get
film,
any.
I've been
I
told.
couldn't get into the new stuff.
I
used to
enjoyed-
watch the old Pertwee and
When it came back, that with
Christopher Eccleston.
I watched that series,
Tom Baker.
and I thought this is quite good actually. Then I enjoyed
I didn't mind Tennant.
a little bit of David Tennant, but then it's just I don't know. It's hit and miss. Some weeks I'm watching them. Oh, this is fucking guff. Like,
Yeah.
This is for, you know.
It is for young kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like a
You know, people
family
who've
show,
never
isn't
kicked
it?
a football or kissed a girl or
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're 8.
no, like, grown, you know who loves Doctor Who. People who don't want heroes to hit people. Oh my God!
I've never met anyone that didn't want a hero to hit anybody. This concept's alien to me.
I was watching a John Wayne film before it came out. It was on telly. McClint, something.
I don't know, there's that many.
It was quite good. He did the famous speech. He was like, "Somebody ought to hit you in the mouth, but I won't do it. I said I won't," and he just smacks him in the face. A massive brawl starts, and I was like,
Did he smack a woman's arse as well at some point in that
"Yeah, there's a
movie?
lot of that." Yeah.
Apparently he was a really nasty bastard, John
very,
Wayne.
Very conservative. Well, you know, there were lots of plots to have him killed, by
Really?
various dictators over there, because he was the symbol of,
Yeah.
and quite political. He was close with a lot of the presidents, and
Never went to war though, did he?
well, no, I don't think.
Well, his name was Mariam.
Hey, he was fucking massive. I wouldn't call him that.
I love the
It's
fact.
amazing, though, isn't it?
Well, Big Daddy, remember him, the wrestler? Do you know his real name?
Shirley was
Crabtree.
Yeah. Sounds like someone that should be on fucking Emmerdale. Have you been to see Shirley Crabtree?
Oh, she went to the local farmer's dance with Shirley Crabtree.
So, I used to be Big Daddy in a dress. The belle of the ball.
Easy. Oh, he was
My
nice.
nan used to fucking love
Oh,
him.
my mum was obsessed with him. You ever watch him back though? He's so shit. He couldn't move. He did belly flops.
Yeah.
And then squashed people in the corner.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was his
He'd
repertoire.
squash him with his big ass in the corner. And everyone's going mental. Yes! Oh, I love England. It's coming home!
No, did you watch last night's performance?
Oh,
God.
God.
And sorry, apologies, listener, if you're an American, you won't appreciate us talking about English football. That was the worst game of one of the worst games of football I've seen in years.
I don't think they were really trying or motivated.
It's on the verge of a major
Still an
tournament.
embarrassment, yeah. I'm not excusing it.
Lost at home to Iceland, at home at Wembley.
It's coming home!
It really isn't, is it?
Stop it!
I can't help it, mate.
It's coming home!
I've been hurt. I've been burnt too many times.
I'm going to believe it all the way up till we fail to get out the group.
Yeah.
After we barely scraped the group on 4 points.
Finishing third.
2 draws and a 1-0 victory.
Yeah.
Ah, well.
Back to the Silurians,
Yes,
eh?
sorry.
Back to the potential civilizations. The study authors decided to laser in on the time period from 4 million years ago to 400 million years ago. But going back hundreds of millions of years to find traces of potential pre-Homo sapiens civilization is not a piece of cake. Well, I wouldn't have thought it was.
No.
After a few million years, Earth is pretty much resurfaced. You're not going to have any statues, buildings or anything left. And that is a really valid point. There's a great show on the History Channel called After People. And it went through like 6 months after people, like what starts to happen.
Well, I've been contemplating this. What would be left of like our big complex society?
Yeah,
Not a lot.
Nothing.
after 1,000 years.
Plastic.
Well, the other thing is, I heard on that pod earlier, sorry, our urban areas are only actually, like, I think it said 1% of the planet's surface.
It might be something like 1 to 3, somewhere.
It's
There is.
very low, like...
What's this for?
Urbanised area of the
The
planet.
actual urban areas of the planet are like
yeah.
a tiny percent Like, I'm sure he said 1%.
Could be. Do you know how much?
At the most, it's 3.
Do you know how much
Most of it's
Britain's
sea.
built on? How much we
How
built on
much?
Britain? Should I say 1.5%? So it sounds about right.
Mad, isn't it? Crazy.
Yeah.
But because we live like on top of each other, it's hard to imagine. I suppose if you live out in the countryside, that's easy to believe, isn't it? You could look
Yeah.
out and think, yeah, I can see that. But
Yeah.
it's crazy when you put it in perspective, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this civilization could have been as advanced as us, but only covering like a tiny little speck of the planet. There'd be nothing.
No, that's it. There'd be nothing left.
That's why this is fascinating.
Remember,
'cause
tectonic plates move, and in over a few million years,
Continents move.
continents shift, continents break apart,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Volcanoes, earthquakes.
So-
but
volcanoes,
we haven't got a fucking clue what's
ice
on the bottom of the
ages.
sea.
Yeah.
Exactly, no clue.
Yeah.
No clue down
The
there.
only thing that would be left is plastic and the evidence of our nuclear waste, I guess.
That
Even
got to
in-
millions
even
of
in 400
years.
You know,
million
how long
years,
is that?
don't you?
You know,
Even though the half-life of that is like thousands.
is it only thousands?
I think after like,
Do you think plastic would be in 400 million years? If the planet's been completely re-smashed and, you know,
You'd be- if
asteroids,
you look
ice
for it-
ages.
Microplastics.
yeah, but you're talking microplastics, as all this has been churned
I don't
and
know.
broken.
I don't know 400 million years, but
There
I know
are-
that plastics would last longer than
Then
the
anything
rest of
else.
it.
Yeah,
There are forever chemicals, aren't there?
Yeah.
Stuff that just does not
point,
go
yeah.
away.
Is it?
But because everything's been churned and moved and just destroyed, that would be so spread out.
Yeah, but you could.
You'd
find
have to you'd have to be able. You'd have to get lucky to
Oh
find
fuck
it.
yeah. Like we do with fossils now.
Yeah,
Lucky.
yeah.
That's it. It's not like we've got some advanced like Star Trek scanner where you can just literally scan the planet and its chemical breakdown.
That's it.
You know, you'd have to be physically digging and testing, and
Yeah.
it's pot looking at of where you.
Yeah,
know,
that's
what,
it.
What site you.
You know, that's it. When they go out looking for dinosaur fossils, they're going to be in the desert because that's where stuff's more likely to fossilise.
Yeah.
Oh, the excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere as well.
Imagine
this-
being the first dude. We should do an episode on whoever it was. The first dude to find a dinosaur.
Man.
Fossil. Can you imagine what that did to his head?
I think that's why they thought they were dragons.
Finding
To be
some
honest.
giant. What the fuck?
Well, you just imagine how many dinosaur bones had been found in previous years, throughout the centuries. Like Mike says, the Chinese found these bones and thought they were dragons.
Yeah.
We might have
2,000 years ago, dragons came into folklore.
you know,
Let
they'll-
them vote.
that's it, innit? So it's
Yeah.
like, well,
They find these
When
big
we
fossils, think, fuck, what's that?
Well, I suppose you'd find a fossil, look at your Komodo dragons, and think, oh, it's a massive one of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that type of thing.
That's the thing. All the bones, all the fossilised, all the dinosaur bones you see in a museum, they think that's right.
Yeah.
They don't know for sure.
It is all guesswork.
It is guesswork, yeah.
Because that's why some people try. I can't believe there are people like this, but there are serious people who claim dinosaurs is a hoax.
Yeah, they're usually fundamentalist Christians. 'Cause
And they're like, well, you've never found a full one, it's all guesswork, it's bullshit.
they have found full
Well, it is
ones,
guesswork.
but
You can
it's
see the fucking. You can actually see the bones in the museum. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But, well, I mean, like putting them, they find like 3 or 4, like a lot of dinosaurs as we know it is like a hodgepodge of 3 different discoveries.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
and,
it's like-
and so we don't actually know if it was exactly, if it went together exactly like that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
No, not unless
they
they're
kind
found
of-
intact. We have found intact ones.
yeah, but I'm saying this. I get where some people do say like there's a lot of analysts, a lot more people believe that they were probably feathered.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
They
yeah.
have no idea what
Yeah.
the colour of the skin was or
Yeah,
the
that's
texture.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
what they sounded like.
Yeah.
We assume they roared. They could have gone, "Hello, old chap." T-Rex could have been like, "Good day."
What sound do like little lizards make? It's like weird lizardy sounds. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, they might not have sounded like a
Ribbit
super
like
cool,
a frog.
but massive.
Yeah.
See, it's basically limited, this theory, by your own imagination is the only thing. They could have been
Yeah.
like anything.
Anything?
They may not have been humanoid at all.
No,
No.
that's it.
They could have evolved from jellyfish.
Yeah. Well, I do, and I'm not the only one. There's a lot of scientists who think that fucking
Octopus,
octopuses
yeah.
are aliens. It
Yeah.
could have been fucking octopus planet. Oh, God. They creep me the fuck out. They're so clever and they... Oh... they're so brainy. Have you seen them like sneaking about in labs and stuff and like?
Yeah, they get out of the
getting
cage,
of
didn't they?
tanks and like opening jars and fucking.
I wouldn't like one stuck to my
Like, their
face.
whole body is their brain.
Yeah.
Like,
I know,
it's,
yeah.
oh.
There's a documentary on Netflix called My Pet Octopus or something like
Yeah.
that. This diver spends like a whole year with this one octopus.
No way.
And every time obviously more and more times he goes, it just sort of comes up to him and they just spend
does he
time
befriend
together.
it,
Yeah,
like?
honest, yeah. It's well weird, man, it's cool.
Oh,
But
they
then the
creep me
octopus,
out.
like, it's got a sad ending, but yeah.
But
It
there's-
dies then.
Yeah.
There's,
Well,
there's
yeah,
so...
I think it was a female that gave birth and then
Look, they
died,
died,
don't they?
They're so unlike anything else, though. They're very alien.
Yeah, totally.
But they could have landed here on an asteroid.
Yeah, in the sea, could have done that. Could have been. For all we know, they're planning to take over.
yeah.
They just need to... I don't know.
Could have been octopus eggs on an asteroid on a comic.
Yeah.
Oh, how crazy is that?
You know, like hundreds of millions of years ago, before we were around to notice, hey, where the fuck did all these things come from?
Yeah, totally.
You know?
So Frank continues saying you'd have to look at each layer of rock and then try to detect trends. Look for changes in things like the carbon or oxygen isotopes, which are traces of things like carbon dioxide. An industrial civilization would dump lots of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere just like we do.
Well, we think they may have different ways of.
Yeah, they might have had completely
Yeah.
different tech.
Yeah.
Might have been steam powered.
Because there wouldn't have been fossil fuels back then.
No, I suppose they wouldn't.
Unless there was another civilization before them that died and then.
Well, we're only using the dead dinosaurs.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
And if you've got no idea of
There's no dinosaurs back then, so.
No, so what, they could have been something else, couldn't they?
They might have powered it some other way. They could have been solar powered and they would have left no trace. Could have figured it out,
Well,
couldn't they?
I listened to a
Use the power of the
podcast
sun.
about this that said basically there is a spike in the carbon and then it goes down almost like we're trying to do.
Or like something wiped them out.
Or something like
And
them
it
out.
just stopped.
Plastics or nanoparticles would also be good indicators of an industrial civilization that occurred in time immemorial. Smith and Frank were intrigued by the period of geological history known as the Paleo-Eocene Thermal Maximum, or PETM, because something peculiar happened on our planet during it. 56 million years ago, Earth's average temperature soared to 15 degrees Fahrenheit above what we have today, and the world became a temperate and iceless place. They investigated the carbon and oxygen isotope ratios in the PETM, and indeed saw spikes, but they also saw declines, and all of these over a few 100,000 years, which is nowhere near the speed at which carbon is currently suffocating the atmosphere. Frank says the PETM chemical differences pointed to a long-term climate change, which is quite interesting. They also reviewed about other abrupt events through time that are visible in the geologic record, including ocean anoxic events, where an ocean becomes depleted of oxygen, and extinction events. Unsurprisingly, and perhaps slightly disappointingly, they were not indicative of an industrial civilization either. But still, you've got that spike. So something was going on.
And we weren't there, we don't know.
Well, this is it. Anything could have happened. Until we've got Time Machine, that's it. I'm going to make it... When they make the Time Machine, I want it to be like the Jules Verne film Time Machine with a seat on a sledge and a big clock behind it.
Not a DeLorean then?
No.
Which is the obvious.
I want the classic look.
the obvious. Do you know what I'd have, Mike? I'd have the train from Back to the Future 3.
Yeah.
That's a good time machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Jules Verne look.
A flying train?
Jules Verne one.
Sorry,
I mean,
H.G. Wells. H.G. Wells. I want that classic chair on a sled.
DeLorean. Gull-wing doors.
Can't make it to 88 miles an hour.
Beautiful. Beautiful. The docks could because it's fucking nuclear powered.
Yeah.
Chair on a sledge.
Yeah. Chair on a sledge with a clock behind me.
DeLorean, chair on a sledge.
The only trouble is you got to do business with Libyans in the car park.
Just remember your bulletproof vest. You're so Victorian, Ben.
Glory times, guys. Glory times. You should know this. No, you're conservative.
Yeah.
Far right, actually.
Oh, right.
To be fair, Ben's only at powers by just pushing a lever up and down.
Yeah.
We've got to get nuclear power for our DeLorean. haven't
Yeah, but we get to do a wheel spin.
It's well cool. I'd much rather have DeLorean, but it's a lot more effort. We've got to get plutonium.
Oh,
Yeah, you've got to do
And
shady
petrol.
dealings with terrorists.
Yeah. And if you go back in time,
I just pull a
pierce the
lever.
tank and you're fucked. Then you got to find some weird way of, you know.
Unless you go in the future and then you can do what he did and it just runs on household rubbish.
Yeah, there you go, Mr. Fusion.
I just pull a lever. That's it.
Roads. Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Yeah, but guess I don't need roads either. I'm just gonna sit there in comfort and pull a lever.
Yeah, but you get encased in rock and shit.
Yeah, but I just go past that.
Break the lever and you're fucked, aren't you?
Well, it'll be a strong lever, won't
Well,
it?
isn't it going to be like, you know, like in Red Dwarf when they get the time drive and they travel back
Yeah,
and
I
like,
love that.
but we're still in deep space,
Yeah.
billions of years away from Earth. We haven't geographically moved. Like, so if we got a time machine and you go back and you're just like, well, it was shit here all that time ago. The good stuff, we've got to fuck it. Oh, God.
I've gone
You
back
always-
4 billion years and there's...
Why would you go back? You always go forward. I want to see what's...
I don't know if I want to go forward. I think that's dangerous. One shouldn't know too much about their own destiny. Like the space-time continuum.
Yeah, but then you could change it, didn't you? Take your knowledge of future events back into the past, form Motley Lou.
Oh no! And then you return back to the past, and you somehow, because you chucked a crisp packet down or something daft, like everything's changed. Like you come back and it's the alternate 2024. And
Yeah, but you're loaded. You invented Google.
Yeah, your voice shares in Google, yeah.
You invented
The
Google.
tension sheet.
You invented Apple. You ripped off Iron Maiden and became their singer.
Oh no! Oh dude, I saw a poster for an Iron Maiden tribute band, and I thought, well, you don't get many of them, do you? Because they're quite hard to
Yeah.
copy, aren't they? But it was a very professional looking poster and that, and I thought, oh, I'm going to look into them. I was thinking maybe it could be a night out. I YouTubed this band. Oh, you can't be an Iron Maiden tribute band. No, it's the sing. Nobody can sing like Bruce.
Nah.
It was painful. I was like, oh mate, bless you. He could sing, but not like Bruce.
Nah. No one ever will.
Nah.
It's like Freddie.
He's one of them, and he just got a different sounding voice. So,
Yeah. Right. Back to the Silurian hypothesis.
yes.
There is an oxymoron to the Silurian hypothesis. The more sustainable a society is in the way it generates energy and manufactures resources, arguably the more advanced a society is, the smaller the footprint it will leave on the planet.
That's it. If it was all solar powered, it wouldn't leave any carbon in the atmosphere, would it?
Yet this smaller footprint would translate to few markers on the geological record for that period. For example, the more plastic or persistent synthetic molecules we produce, the higher the chances future civilizations will find traces of us. Our society produces 300 million tonnes of plastic each year worldwide, the equivalent of the weight of the entire human population.
Jesus Christ.
Even if we wipe ourselves off the face of the nuclear catastrophe, long-lived radioactive particles will endure in the soil eons later, signalling we'd existed.
Yeah, there's plastic in your testicles now, Gaz.
I've heard that, yeah. What are you going to do?
Nothing you can do.
He said, I'm not going to cut them off. I'm like,
Ah!
what are you doing, guys? Oh, I don't want a plastic in my mouth. That's not the answer.
Ambulance, please.
Oh, dear.
With the Silurian hypothesis, we articulated the kinds of signals our civilization would leave if we disappear and somebody looks for our civilization 10 or 20 million years now from now. But most of all, the experiment demonstrated certain shortcomings in our current scientific apparatus. To quote, in case an earlier species' industrial activity was particularly short-lived, we would not be able to detect it in ancient sediments with the tools and methods we have now.
There we go.
If you want to look for evidence of a previous civilization, you'd have to do studies that nobody's done and develop novel methods. For example, you'd have to find ways to look at the rock record on a much finer time scale. Remember, we are talking about millions of years of evolution of complex life and an unsparing Earth that grinds down everything in its wake. And though both Frank and Schmidt don't really believe an industrial civilization existed before our own, the main takeaway of the Silurian hypothesis, Frank says, is if you're not explicitly looking for something, you might not even see it.
Well, it's a very interesting thought. I love it.
I'd like to think that there was, like that, the romantic side of me thinks, yeah, you know what, we can't have been the first,
It's
You
a long
can't take-
time for there just to be like little weird little vertebrae things in the sea and like not a lot else.
You know,
It's a long time.
Well, there was a lot of mass dyings, wasn't there? Throughout that sort of hindered life. Like at one point, 95% of all life on the Earth died. Had to start again, so there's been a few setbacks, I guess.
There has, but maybe one
I know
of
what you're saying.
them civilizations died out in that.
Maybe.
But that's the thing. We wouldn't know.
No,
would
we haven't. Even he says we haven't got the methods of
No.
protecting it.
Like,
The Earth's been smushed and crushed and
Is it-
reformed that much.
Yeah.
Anything that was left's just been scattered.
Because if you think about like, all right, a sign of our advancement would be aeroplanes, right? Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That's how advanced we are as a society. We can just all over the globe, right? And there's got to be fucking, I don't know, tens of thousands of airplanes, possibly millions of airplanes. Not a single shred of the evidence of their existence would be left.
Nope.
Nope.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's not as if we're going to find a fully intact like
course not.
spaceship. Like, oh look how advanced they were. Like, we've got. There's just no way. Well, I know there's the spikes and the things, but like, if you let your imagination go as a thought experiment, which it was in the first place,
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant. I like thinking of like little humanoid dinosaur people in business suits, like just
Yeah.
playing pool, you
Like
know.
the series Dinosaurs.
Yeah, I've often thought like I'd love to do a series like, but like I love the image in my head of like, you know, them all on the bus and like just being normal, mundane as fuck, but they're like dinosaur people.
Yeah.
It's fucking ace.
Yeah. Well, some people think that there might be species that lived before us and are still alive now.
Well, I've seen a few wondering. Like,
Well,
I might have had sex with one.
let's look at one thing just before we jump into this one. If there was an advanced civilization here before us and they were wiped out, surely they might have got something to space.
Well, they might have fucked off.
The Black Knight satellite
Oh yeah.
might be a relic of past civilization.
Because it was in space and it wouldn't decompose or anything. It was
They might all be frozen on there. They might be in like what's it
suspended
called?
animation.
Stasis.
Stasis. Yeah. What do we call it when we do it on here? With people like
Cryogenic.
Yeah. Apparently, I heard on. I think it was on last pod on the left that. You know, quite a few people have had themselves cryogenically frozen. It's not worked on a few people, and they've gone mouldy and rotted.
Ooh, zombie people. We could also point to the hollow moon. The moon is weird.
How did we get there? What?
Well, the moon's weird, right?
Right.
Its composition, the fact that it may well be hollow.
Some people, isn't it a chunk of Earth?
It could be, but scientists aren't exactly sure. Our moon has a particularly weird orbit around the Earth.
Right.
The moon is weird.
Okay.
Yep.
And was that an artificial satellite?
Right.
Well, is it an artificial satellite
Yeah.
put there by an earlier species?
I'm gonna have to do it
Reaching for children of the Matrix.
because I do think he's got some theories on the moon. Just bear with me a second.
Right. Well, so what does David Icke have to say?
Well, there's nothing in this actual book, but he's done an entire documentary on it. The title of the documentary is David Icke, Moon Control and the Grey Reptilian Humanoid Agenda.
Wow, that's the watch list.
And I believe the basic gist is that he believes it's an abandoned alien spacecraft
Or an earlier civilization spacecraft.
that is controlling our minds somehow.
That's unfortunate.
I don't know what minds. They're wasting their fucking time up there. They can't think of anything better. Oh, we're going to control his mind. Make him play the PlayStation. Have another wank. Ooh.
Have another wank.
Ooh, have another one. Ooh, is he going to have 4 beers or is he going to have 5? Ooh, have 5.
No wanking after
Fucking
that.
hell.
You do realise after the 5th beer we eliminates a chance for a wank that night, yeah?
I don't know. It depends how determined I am.
You're 41 now.
So it's an abandoned. It's a funny looking spaceship.
That's no moon.
Yeah, it is weird though. It's too big for a planet. The way it is, it's just perfect, so it just casts a solar eclipse.
It's hollow.
Hollow
Isn't it the
rings like a
exact
bell.
distance to like protect us from like rocks and stuff and things like that as well? And
No, not really.
it does absorb a lot of shit.
Yeah, it does.
Those
Yeah,
dogs,
yeah.
That would fuck us up if it hit us.
Jupiter does more than that, though,
Yeah.
to be fair.
What are they gonna...
So massive.
So what's weird about it? It's like it's just not like other moons.
Yeah.
It's not like
all the
other
moons
moons.
that we found.
Because other planets have several, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's weird
yeah.
that we've only got one.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's
It's in an the most
But
absolute
all
perfect
planets
spot.
have
it
biggest
needs to be.
moon in our solar system compared to the planet size. You know. What I
Right.
mean?
Okay. It's disproportionately
Yeah.
sized. Do all the planets in our solar system have a moon? Apart
No.
from the little five.
Mercury doesn't. Venus doesn't. The rest do.
Right. I bet Jupiter's moon's pretty big, isn't it?
They've got about
Loads.
7 or 9, something like that.
Might-
Saturn's got quite a few.
I think Jupiter's got 40 odd. I think.
It may well have, yeah. Yeah.
And the rings of Saturn, they're cool, aren't
They
they?
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did something explode?
No, what it is it's tiny bits of ice and rock that have, they keep bashing into each other as they circle the planet. It gets smaller
Make
and
more
smaller,
and more.
finer and finer until they
Yeah.
produce a ring.
It's so cool.
Yeah,
It's actually
beautiful.
made up of ace
Iron.
rimmers.
Yeah. Yeah. All those ace rimmers who've come before him.
Voice from the dwarf.
Yeah. Do you want to hear what Karen Hood has to say?
Go for it.
Well, she says the US gold reserves have been stolen by the Jesuits under the direction of a person she calls the Black Pope.
That's metal as fuck, isn't
It
it?
is. Pretty much what Ghost is. It's the least of a ghost, isn't it? And that US gold reserve now resides in the Vatican. But she says the Black Pope is not a human, but is what she calls a second species, as she recently explained on a podcast.
She used to work for the World Bank, apparently. As a
right,
whistleblower.
okay.
We did this way back, like episode 23 or something.
No way.
Global
This
Banking
came up-
Conspiracy.
No
And we
way.
did this at the end, yeah. So go check that episode out.
So
That's a very early one.
she
yeah.
thinks there's an alien called the Black
No,
Pope.
they're not aliens.
Oh, just an ancient species.
A second species on this earth.
Species on this earth.
Maybe living inside a hollow earth.
Oof, wow, the Vatican. Maybe the Vatican, because I don't let a lot of people in there, do they? Maybe that's the doorway to the
Maybe.
other.
Yeah. The Black Pope.
Oh, new.
To quote her, there's a second species on this
I
planet.
think she means intelligent species. There's plenty of species on this planet.
They're not extraterrestrials, they're very much with us. They made maps in the previous ice age. The remnants of their civilization are all over the place, a lot of times on the coast. It's submerged because the sea levels have gone up by 400 metres. This group has large brains. They're very distinct from Homo sapiens. Their DNA is so different that if the two species mated, their offspring would be infertile. And we know this because their DNA was just tested. She provides no source for that.
She is the source.
They have schools all over the place because they've been on Earth with us. But after the Ice Age, there weren't that many of them, so they've been hiding. And one of the places they've been hiding is the Vatican. That's why the Vatican are wearing those mitres, you know, the big tall cone hats.
So these are cone heads.
yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that film?
I've never seen
Hello.
it. I've never seen it.
It's Dan Aykroyd, yeah.
Is that good?
It's quite, yeah, you'd like it.
Yeah. I've never seen it. I was meant to see it, but I've
That's a
never got around to it.
classic.
Watched it many, many, many years ago.
Very weird.
It
silly
is a very
film,
weird,
but
silly
it's
film,
good.
yeah.
Funny.
I'll have to watch it.
It turns out so that's the thing with tall hats in the Catholic Church, is they've all got big skulls.
She's telling me none of those people have been pictured without their hats on.
Apparently not.
I'm guessing she's thinking it's more of a. It's now more of a sort of
Ah, right.
ceremonial.
Symbolic.
Because
thing.
back in the day, they had to
Yeah.
wear the hats to hide their big, massive noggins.
Yeah.
He's got a head like a fucking orange. Head, move now.
Who's that? Carl Pilkington.
No,
He's
it's
got a head like a fucking.
Oh yeah,
orange.
his head like an orange. I think I just mixed up two quotes there. What's that film? So I Married an Axe Murderer, Mike Myers.
Yeah, we watched that not so long ago.
I think it's from that. He's
Seen it
playing a Scottish
A
dad,
long time ago.
and the kid's
Yeah.
sitting in front of the telly, and he calls the kid Head because he's got a massive head.
Right.
He's like, Head, move now, because he's blocking the TV. His massive cranium. So they're in the. So are they still in the Vatican?
Yeah.
Yeah.
apparently, yeah.
It turns out that's what the high priest wore in the early beginnings of Judaism. So we're getting the Jews in here.
Oh God.
Every conspiracy theory, you know, it's like gotta have the Jews in
Yeah.
there.
So Moses was one of these beings, apparently.
The Akhenaten, who was a pharaoh. They know this because of the papyrus. I'm going to guess that's
Papyra, I think.
papyra that was taken from one of the pyramids. Talks about this. The people who are doing archaeology in Israel know this, and the reason is not only is Homo carpensis, trying to keep human beings under control by divide and conquer using our money system. They've also been doing this with our religions, organised religions, trying to get human beings to hate people of different religious faiths so they can kill each other off.
I would never hate someone based on their religion.
Yes, so...
And if you were, you'd be manipulated by these guys. They're manipulating people.
Homo carpensis, the Akhenaten, are manipulating you.
Well, so I can't be blamed. It was them that made me go on that Tommy Robinson march.
Don't you mean, what's his name, Yaxley
Lennon.
Tommy Ten Names.
Hey.
He's like the pound shop Nigel Farage, really, isn't he?
Stop picking on all my heroes.
Who himself is, what did Russell... Well, we can't... Can we say Russell Brand's credible? No, we can't really, can we?
Hey, I like
He's
his
just
channel.
converted to Christianity, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I tell you what, if you watch his channel, he does his sources. He shows you where he's getting the info from, right? They label him as a...
Some unpleasantness with him, wasn't there, recently?
Oh, there is that, yeah, but he didn't touch me up, so I still enjoy his channel.
What did he say? What did he call? Pound Shop Enoch Powell is what he called Nigel Farage.
That was great.
Called him that on BBC Question Time, I'm sure he did.
Sorry, Nigel. I apologise on behalf of my friends.
I don't think he's listening.
Heathen. Well, with all the donations I've been making, he bloody wants to be listening. I mean, sorry. Back to the article.
Well, there you go, that's pretty much it. She's different species on the planet, maybe.
Yeah.
Then we can link back to another episode, the ant people of the Hopi. Do you remember the Hopi Indians?
I do. What were they called again? Homo...
Homo carpacis.
That's a cool name. Vigo the Carpathian.
Oh, maybe he's one.
He had a massive head.
There we go. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
Does that mean I get to be a Ghostbuster?
Hey, I noticed in Wellington there's a restaurant that I've never been in before called the Carpathian Bear.
Ooh.
So that's a cool name.
Yeah, I like
It's
that.
pretty metal, isn't
Carpathian.
it? Carpathian Bear. Ooh. Where's Carpathia?
Romania, I think.
Oh, so there's a Romanian, Eastern European restaurant.
There you go.
I'd go to one of them, they have great food.
I know, somewhere in Eastern Europe.
Eastern
The ruler of
Europeans,
Carpathia.
to be fair, probably some of the best cooks in Europe. They use cabbage with everything.
Yeah, they do. Bring me a human child.
Yeah. Vigo.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The bimbo with the baby.
Yeah.
I love Ghostbusters too.
I like it better than the first one.
The first one's still king for me.
Don't know if I go that far, but dude, they're on a par though, I suppose. For me.
The first one I
The
like.
thing with the second one is I can actually remember seeing that at the cinema.
Yeah.
We were about 10, I think, 9 or 10, weren't we? 92.
Yeah, I had
Something
the,
like that.
the cup as well. The glow in the dark
The
cup.
logo
and it's-
is cool as well, it too.
Yeah.
Some good music in that one as well.
Yeah. It's a
Bobby
decent
Brown.
film.
Yeah.
I like the ending. It's an
Yeah, it's
upbeat,
nice.
happy ending.
Yeah.
Lewis thinks he's done it.
Yeah. He gets his moment, doesn't he?
Yeah. What's it called? Statue of Liberty.
That's great.
Take it for a walk.
With an Amiga fucking
Yeah.
controller.
I think it's Nintendo in it, but yeah.
Oh, it might be Nintendo, yeah.
I don't think they make Nikes that are size, Ray. You know your love.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's got a happy ending, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
The message is great.
Yeah, everyone's uplifted.
It won't be positive to destroy
That's the thing.
time.
You know, they go on about in that film that the Ghostbusters ruined this, they ruined that. It's like, yeah, but they brought the people of New York together on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Why aren't they reflecting on that?
Yeah, classic.
Hey, what's the next
Well,
bit?
because the next day they went back to killing each other.
Yeah. I heard an interesting fact that on average, once a day, somewhere in New York, a manhole cover explodes.
Wow.
Wow.
Fuck, you won't
And
do
it
one there.
occasionally kills people.
Can you imagine?
Injures a lot of people. Occasionally kills people. But yeah, fuck me.
Jesus.
It's gas build-up,
It's to
innit?
do with
Yeah.
gas, water, electric, and all that stuff. But yeah, at
You
least
couldn't pay me to live in that city.
I'd love to go,
it's got
though.
worse as well, apparently.
I'd love to go.
Yeah,
I'd love to
visiting's
visit,
okay.
but not anymore though. We've missed it because apparently there's, and I'm not getting political, but I only know this from listening to podcasts and things, that because of this, they're trying not to put as many people in prison, and they're not punishing crimes that used to be punishable. So like people are just being allowed back out, having just committed a violent act, and people kind of know that, so apparently crime has gone fucking nuts.
I heard a statistic that said Democrat states have higher crime rates than Republican ones.
Yeah, because
at next they're normally bigger, aren't they? I guess, I don't know.
Well, they're less. Republicans are a lot more like,
Well, Texas is the biggest, isn't it? And that's
jail
Republican.
Jail
No, I'm
for
about
everything and anything,
Oh,
though,
yeah.
innit?
You got Los Angeles, New York, Washington DC.
Traditionally
They're the biggest
Democratic
cities, aren't
Yeah, I
states,
suppose.
aren't they?
Plus, they are just traditionally softer on crime, aren't they? Just
They're not.
Yeah,
Just
as
as
a
a
rule.
policy. I don't mean in a bad way. I'm
No,
just
yeah,
saying
yeah,
there's like
yeah.
So do you remember the ant people of the Hopi? We did an episode on that
I do.
many years ago.
You did a drawing,
I
didn't
did during, because I remember it reminded me of like remember He-Man figures?
Yeah.
You'd have like a Bee-Man. And
Yeah.
And I looked, and there wasn't an Ant-Man, so I just drew one. Yeah, because I was just imagining like a muscular man's body with an ant's head on it. Like a He-Man toy.
Yeah. Well, that's what it would be. They weren't that imaginative, were they?
Just changed the heads.
That's it, yeah. It's really the same basic mould for the bodies, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Skeletor's blue, He-Man's white. Stick whose head we want on it. Now, one of the most intriguing Hopi legends involves the Ant people. Obviously, Hopi Indians are American Indians, as anyone doesn't know. They were crucial to the survival of the Hopi, not just once but twice. The so-called First World or World Age was apparently destroyed by fire, possibly some kind of volcanoes, asteroid strike, or coronal mass ejection from the sun. We get a coronal mass ejection, everybody's fucking dead unless you're in deep caves or deep underground bunkers.
Yeah.
And that could
Everybody's dead.
That could just happen randomly.
That can
any time,
we'd have 8 minutes warning.
Yeah.
That's it. That's your. It takes 8 minutes from light for the sun to get to the earth. So we'd have 8 minutes warning.
Yeah.
Would you, if you're in charge and you find out about that, would you just be like, fuck it, let everyone have their 8 minutes? Or would you just warn people and they're not going to get anywhere in 8 minutes, are they?
If I'm the leader of the world, I ain't saying shit.
Yeah.
I'm just like, let 'em. It's 8 minutes. I don't know what to say. Just
What we're going to do?
I'm gonna have my last wank and just let everyone just die in
Because you can't even get to the bunker.
ignorance, blissful ignorance.
Well, unless you've got a bunker under wherever you are.
Do you want your last 8 minutes? I know you're thinking, I might hug my loved ones.
That's
You've got 8 minutes. It's not going to be a nice hug or whatever. It's going to be.
but
Your last 8 minutes will be existential dread. I'd rather it just be like, should I have the blue t-shirt on today or should I put the red t-shirt?
what's that flash?
I quite like the blue one. Ah!
Yeah.
I'd prefer that.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think you'd know about it. It might start to get uncomfortably hot for a bit.
I'm having a hot flush.
For a bit.
You'd see it in the sky.
And then, but then, literally, like a wall of fire is just going to envelop the earth from wherever this thing hits. So if you're asleep, it'll get very bright all of a sudden,
How do the
and very hot all of a sudden.
Yeah. So to get my understanding, so the Hopis believe there was a before world that was destroyed by fire, and in the before world there were ant people.
And they got the Hopi down into the caves and the hollow earth where they lived,
Right.
and saved them.
Yeah.
And they did that twice.
Yeah.
Because it was an ice age
So
the
these
second
people
time.
are around at the same time as
Humans.
humans then.
Yeah, but they could have. Where did they come from? They could have been a civilization from millions of years ago.
It had gone underground because this
Yeah.
exact thing had happened to them.
Yeah. That's interesting. I don't want to meet ant people. That's fuck. I'd punch them.
Only the virtuous members of the Hopi tribe were led down there. I don't like that. Save everyone else, not the worst one, not the paedophiles and the rapists. They can stay up on Earth.
That might
You
be
don't
what
want
they
them in
mean.
your new society,
Well,
do
that's
you?
probably what they mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this legend, ant people were described as being virtuous and generous.
Oh,
Which is a nice break, isn't it?
as long as they're not eating.
That's a nice break from the traditional reptilian adrenal gland harvesting, feeding off our fear and neuroses, isn't it?
I'd still go to war with those disgusting freaks.
Well, the reptilians or the ant people.
The ant people. Get off me, you ant-headed freak! I'm trying to help you.
it's got
Don't
man-
touch me! Get
got-
your filthy tentacles off me, you damn dirty ant!
It's It's got mandibles too.
Yeah.
Mandibles are disturbing.
Exactly. Imagine the clicking sounds and the noises, and it'd just be weird as fuck. Get the fuck away from me! Oh, I'd machine gun his face off.
You're an Hopi Indian. At most, you got a bone tomahawk.
Might be a
I'm
friendly.
saying if I met them now, I'd
Oh,
be
right.
armed to the teeth. Belt-fed machine guns, mounted on jeeps. I'd just go down there and mow them down. I'd boiling water. I'd get a giant kettle.
You know what? Weirdly, I had to do that this week at my mum's house.
Oh man, that's so cruel.
It is, isn't it?
But,
It's-
fuck 'em.
well, if I don't do it, they'll be everywhere. They're boring through the steps going up to the front door. I can see where they've been boring. There's little bits of earth sticking out.
They're very industrious.
They are, and it's. If I don't do it, if I didn't do it, the house would have been infested.
But what are you going to do if you meet an ant person? You're going to shake its mandible?
It might be friendly.
Well, am I meeting it in an official capacity as mayor?
I'll be uncut because I'll faint as soon as I see it. I'll just pass out with fear.
I'd have to shake its hand and say hello and all that, wouldn't I? Peace between humans and the ant people.
Oh, I'd cave its skull in.
Well, I've not invited you to the ceremony.
It's gonna cause an
You
interspecies
leaping
war.
at the crowd with a shovel.
Just baseball bat to the cranium. Oh, cricket bat, that's
Guys, oh, we're all British.
Yeah.
Guys, no, we're making peace. And
It touched me with its filthy fucking mandible.
And Gaz just comes riding in and driving in his van, just mowing him down.
Mowing them down, yeah.
baseball bat out the window.
These
Cricket bat
abominations.
wrapped in barbed wire. You sick freaks.
We're making peace. They're sharing advanced technology in exchange for nothing. And you've ruined it all.
We just started an interspecies war.
Because they're gross. It'd be the easiest war we ever fought.
It wouldn't. They've got
Shitloads.
advanced
They're
tech.
ants.
They're
Shitloads
ant
of
people.
boiling water. I know their body weight, they're going to be able to lift like cars above their heads, aren't they? Because they can lift like 10 times their fucking...
They'll be fucking flipping tanks, mate.
That's like
They'll
shit,
wipe us out.
Yeah, but they won't be
few
bulletproof, will they?
No, but
Or flamethrower proof.
no, that's true.
Come on,
Unless
we
they've
ain't
got
losing.
armoured vehicles.
Oh, we don't know what they've got down there, do we?
Could have flying saucers for all we know. Maybe that's the other thing. The UAPs might not be from outer space. They might be from within the Earth.
See, yeah,
The
well,
hollow earth.
well, a lot of people think they come from the ocean.
Yeah,
Well, there's footage of them going in and...
yeah. They love it, don't they? They love it.
Yeah.
And where's the best place to hide on Earth? Under the sea.
Yep.
Oh,
We know fuck all about down there.
it was on a podcast the other day, but they were... Oh, that's it. You know when the submersible went down and exploded?
Yeah.
The reason they heard it on some sensors. I heard this on Joe Rogan. Just a theory, but someone was saying, well, the reason these sensors, why are these sensors down there listening?
Well, that's an easy question. That's an easy answer.
Well, they're tracking the UAPs.
Well, that could be the case, but the US has a vast network
Oh, for
of
submarines.
yes, enemy submarines, Chinese submarines, Russian submarines, British submarines, Australia. They know they like to alien UAP. Maybe it's the same shit.
Yeah, it's multi-purpose.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah.
Submarines are fucking. I wouldn't be on one, but they're fucking great, aren't they?
They're cool, but you wouldn't get me on for the money.
No, there's
You
no
wouldn't
way.
get me on a boat.
I mean, obviously,
Dinghy.
Pete, who's our other host when we're not all together, he was a submariner. No thanks.
Not for
12 hours on, 12 hours off, rolling into the fucking bed someone's just vacated.
Oh, God.
Nah, the stench must be horrendous. So many bodies, and if something goes wrong, I mean, you just keep sinking, don't you, until the whole thing implodes.
Oh God.
That's all that goes wrong. Something goes wrong and you're in the middle of you're above the Mariana Trench.
I believe it's what they say on the internet. Fuck around and find out.
Yes.
And I'm not going to fuck around
Nope.
under the sea. So,
Nope.
what else have we got?
Well, just some brief Hollow Earth myths, because Hollow Earth's not a new thing. It goes back, let's face it, Christian hell, where's that?
Yep. Same with the underworld in
Down below.
ancient Greece. And
Yep. Celtic mythology, you've got a cave called Cruachan, known as Ireland's gate to hell, a mythical and ancient cave from which strange creatures emerge. In County Down, Northern Ireland, there's a myth which says tunnels lead to the land of the subterranean to Altha Dudanan, a group of people who are believed to have introduced Druidism to Ireland and then fucked off back underground. The Aganami tribes of India claim their ancestors emerged in ancient times from a subterranean land inside the earth. The Taino from Cuba believe their ancestors emerged in ancient times from two cave and a mountain underground. Natives of the Trobyland Islands believe their ancestors came from a subterranean land through a cavern hole called Abucala. Mexican folklore also tells of a cave in a mountain 5 miles south of Arginanga, and that Mexico is possessed by devilish creatures who come from inside the earth. That's fucking amazing.
Well,
the Russians say the Samoyeds, an ancient Siberian tribe, travelled to a cavern city to live inside the earth.
so for 400 million years, while this Earth's surface has been reshaped and blown up and frozen and hit with fire and all the rest of it, they could have been down below all safe as houses.
Could have been.
Yep.
Like King Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You know what's weird in that film? It took me because I was really stoned when I was watching it. When he goes in the hollow earth, Ben, it's like a sphere, isn't it?
Yeah.
So gravity. So like if you're on the floor here, but if you jump high enough, then gravity from up here starts to take you.
Ah, got
And
you.
then you're standing that way up.
Yeah.
Like up there.
Yeah, it's
like,
mad,
it's
innit?
like I was like, what's happening? So I suppose, yeah, kind of. Maybe it would be like that. I don't know.
I will watch it. I'm still hell diving though.
But yeah, so I don't know. But it's a nice theory. I like it, and we don't know, do we?
Nope.
You can't say really. Either way, it's just a matter of your imagination, I think.
Yeah.
Take out all the hollow earth and all that. I do believe that,
Well, the Black Pope.
and the Black Pope.
If you met him, would you say, "What's up, my N-word"?
Well, no, because he'd probably just rip my throat out with his fangs or something. The Silurian hypothesis itself, I think, is fascinating. And the Earth's 4.5 billion years old, so why is it only us that's got this far? Maybe the other Terran races, evolved differently and had a civilization, and that did fuck up, and after millions of years, nothing's going to be left.
No.
Or if it is, it's so spread out, it's virtually impossible to detect.
Yeah.
Fossil record, well, the Earth's been churning for millions of years. That's gone.
Just hope they were lizard-based and not insect-based. Or slug. They could have been slug people.
Could have been. It could have been anything. It could have been people exactly like us. It could have happened twice. Who knows? It could have been humanoid.
You know them big. Have you seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the movie version?
The more recent one.
Yeah, those aliens that I think they're the Vogons at the start. Them giant like slug things.
Yeah.
Who do the really shit poetry. It could have been like that.
Alan Rickman's great as a depressed droid,
Yeah,
isn't he?
Marvin. I like that film. I don't think it deserved to be more successful, to be honest.
I think it was decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fairly good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually down for the Silurian hypothesis. Why couldn't another similar 4.5 billion years? We've been here for 300,000. Why couldn't there have been other shit going on? I think it's entirely plausible.
I agree.
Yeah, it's possible.
Are we all in agreement for once?
Well, it's a thought experiment, isn't it? This one. It's
Yeah.
not really
No way of proving it. Not yet until we get
either
better.
way. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Wow.
And on that bombshell.
On that bombshell. Wow. Follow us on Facebook at Cutting the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. YouTube is Apocalypse Bull. SoundCloud and Spotify and all your other podcasting platforms. Cutting to the Bull and the PTA. And I've started to read Crowley again, and I'm going to say, do what thou wilt. I've been Ben. Thanks for listening.
I'm in Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
I've been Gaz, breathing Tannen. It's coming home.
I just want to say that in preparation, I've started going through the lemma again.
Use it to bring it home.
It is my will that England will bring it home.